Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Just quick content update before I get started. I'm unexpectedly going to have to go out of town for maybe a week or so to take care of some things. So I'm going to try to record a lot of content in the next couple of days, probably the next 48 hours to build up a buffer so that like videos can release while I am on this trip. So I'm going to be playing donation decks out of order to just honestly play the decks that I can record with the most quickly. So there's some stuff at the top of the queue like Nick Fit that would be long and grindy. If you want to have content every day, I just can't record with that right now. And I'm also going to be conceding if I'm pretty sure that I'm going to lose a match just when that happens to try to save a little bit of time. And it's possible like some of the videos might not end up with editing. We're just going to kind of see where it lies. So expect some of the content to be a little rougher around the edges in the next couple of days than is my normal standard, is what I'm getting at. Okay, hopping into the deck itself. Today's donation comes from Kurt B, who made some sort of joke like, hey, can we just like shove Urza's Saga into everything and make it better? And he wanted to test the answer to that question by going and trying out a Dead Guy Affinity deck. So the idea here is to play with some of the traditional Dead Guy Ale cards, like Stoneforge Mystic and Dark Confidant, while also playing a lot of the traditional Affinity cards, the Artifact Lands, Urza's Saga, and I updated this list for post Dungeons and Dragons set by adding Portable Hole, which I was really impressed with in a Legacy League, of course, a Legacy League, an Affinity League that I recently played. So we're going to play some new cards. I still count Modern Horizons 2 as new, despite the fact that we've dropped a new set. We're going to be playing with Esper Sentinel, and we're going to kind of take some of the characteristics of the blue-white affinity deck with like main deck Esper Sentinels and Aethersworn Canonists and apply that to this shell. Now, we don't necessarily need to run 4 Nettle Cysts because we're playing Stoneforge Mystic as a way to fetch that out, if that is indeed something we want to fetch out. Now, Kurt's original build did not have Cauldra complete in it, but I 100% wanted to add that into the deck because it's freaking sweet. And I'm going to need to quote some flavor text here. Greatness at any cost. And now 7 is a cost. And if we flip Cauldra to Dark Confidant, it'll be really funny for content purposes. But in all seriousness, I think the risk of having a 7-drop in your Dark Confidant deck is worth it for the card advantage stream that Dark Confidant should normally apply. As far as the sideboard goes, generally speaking, we have about 6 cards. Let me move the Jitte over here. We have about 7 cards for the fair stuff, and then about 8 cards for the unfair stuff. As far as decklist concerns going into the league, I think Tidehollow Sculler is borderline questionable, given the mana base. Like, you have these Ancient Ends and Vault of Whispers that tap for one of the 2 colors, and then you also have the Urza Saga that tap for neither of the 2 colors. I am hoping that the 7 pieces of mana acceleration smooth this out enough so that like this is a castable turn 2 play most of the time. I didn't like pop it into the calculator and run the numbers or anything, but just at a glance, I'm always thinking about my mana, and you've probably realized that by now. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the league. If you want to try out this deck or check out my donation information, all of that is available in the video description. The deck lists are available via Top Deck. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content 7 days a week. If you are subscribed, throw me a like. It's the easiest way to support me. Let's battle. Okay, Mox Opal, discard Marsh Flats, 2 Mox Diamond, have 2 artifacts. Esper Sentinel have 3 artifacts and have Metalcraft for the future. This hand gets really good if I draw a land. I think I keep this. It's a little weird to keep what, like, might be a no-lander. Okay, we are playing against Death and Taxes, so, like, some of this hateful stuff is not really great here. And we did not hit the land either. Levy. Alright, so Mox Diamond, discard Mox Flats, Marsh Flats, Esper Sentinel, yeah, turn on Metalcraft, and pass the turn. We were really hoping to get paired against a blue deck, or especially a combo deck with this hand that I kept, because like the Scullers and Canonus is great hate versus combo. Dark Confidant is the ability to grind. I think my opponent just has a bunch of interaction against what I'm doing. Lol, 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 lol. Okay. How do I want to proceed with the hand? And Tide Hollow Sculler and take away some of their scariest plays, which would be like Flicker West and Skyclave Apparitions that can hit my mana sources, or I can just floop a Bob into play and hope that like the card advantage over time pulls me ahead. I think I want to do this first to protect the Bob. I think the Bob is just so incredibly critical to my success that I need to protect my mana sources here. Like, those cards that I mentioned, plus Swords to Plowshares, are all just like backbreakingly good versus my current hand. Okay, looks like they have a Mother of Runes. That's fine. Okay. Well, their hand is not good. That's the good news. Like, neither one of those cards currently really does anything. So it's essentially like, does my opponent draw an absolute banger in the next 2 turn cycles? And if they don't, I probably run away with this game via Bob. Okay, yep. Okay, land is great, because that's just another Mox Diamond target so that I don't get wastelanded. Alright. Mox Diamond, discard Vault of Whispers, and let's play Bob. Alright, no attacks, like my opponent has an active Mom, and I don't have a removal spell that, like, makes sense for me to make those attacks. Portable Hole not being an instant here is definitely going to be relevant for, like, other runes type purposes. We'll see how things go. Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Alright, I do get to draw the card, because Spirit of Labyrinth is no more than 1 card each turn. This game falls apart to this Jitte, unfortunately. I guess I block with a white creature and a black creature and trade with the Spirit of the Labyrinth here. And at least take a body off the board. This is gross. This is just absolutely disgusting. But, like, there's some worlds where, like, my opponent runs out of creatures, or, like, I force his Mom to attack, and then I have a removal spell or something. But this Jitte is just so insane on this board. Like, the only other thing I can do is, like, no blocks, and then hope to top deck Portable Hole. Okay, this is not what I'm looking for. I believe this one is over. I'm going to play on for 1 more turn cycle, I think. Oh, well. Hit a Palace Jailer. The bad news is, like, opponent has active Jitte, right? So, didn't really hit a Palace Jailer. Opponent paused for a minute in the end step thinking about whether or not they needed to remove anything immediately, but I don't think they do. So, my opponent's going to Jitte double minus on the Tide Hollow Sculler at some point in this turn cycle, getting back the Palace Jailer, exiling one of my things, giving them another card, yada 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 yada. It's just not good. Okay, so here comes the Jailer, which will exile the Tide Hollow Sculler. Okay, as expected. And then my opponent gets their Spirit of the Labyrinth back, which means that if I become the Monarch, I am a sad king. So the next question is, like, do they attack with the Mother Runes with the Jitte equipped? I probably would. Like, they have a huge advantage that they can press here. Okay, they're not going to. And take your card. Yeah, I think I am in the abyss far enough that I can go ahead and concede here. It's not like top decking Portable Hole fixes everything here, because I get rid of the Jitte, but my opponent is still the Monarch. That's fine. Alright, Plague Engineer, Jitte, a pile of Swords to Plowshares, and I can consider Pithing Needle and Sorcerer's Spyglass, but I'm guessing they don't make the cut. So, I want to take out my things that are traditionally good against the blue decks here, or the things that are traditionally good against this deck, and I guess that means a Pithing Needle will round things out for equipment and Ether Vials. So I guess the next question is, like, do I want to junk Sculler or Sorcerer's Spyglass to just be better against Ether Vial? I don't know that I do. but like attacking my opponent's hand is kind of medium, and I'd rather play these 2-drops. And if this isn't a turn 2 play, not the best. I think on the play I'll keep these, but on the draw, if we go to a game 3, I'll board Spyglass instead. Alright, what are we looking at? Oh, this is a YOLO hand. It's just a turn 1 Stoneforge Mystic or Cauldra. I can't, like, not keep it, right? Opponent will have maybe 4 to 6 outs for it immediately. Yeah, I'm good with it. Oh, there's no basic lands on this deck, huh? Okay. Well, that's fine, I guess. That is the cost of trying to do something ambitious with mana. Don't get to just play around a wasteland immediately. Which makes this line a little bit worse. And I think I do just rumble with Cauldra rather than going for the Jitte. The Jitte line requires me to have 2 mana over multiple turns, and the Cauldra line only requires me to have 2 mana once. I think between like Port and Wasteland and my Stoneforge Mystic being removed, I just open up too many things going wrong if I go for the early Jitte. Alright, what they got for me? They may have a Source of Plowshares, and they're considering just trying to get the Germ token rather than the Stoneforge itself. That's about the only thing that makes sense to me here for this long of a pause. Okay, they've got an Aether Vial. Alright. I am good with Portable holding the Aether Vial next turn rather than this turn. And just starting the clock. Get in there. And get into the red zone. Opponents at 15 have really good removal available. Am I going to get ported? I'm going to get ported. Does it make sense for me to Shadow Spear? No, that does not make sense, because that like costs me more mana than what it's worth. Oh, nice. Nice. I throw my Portable Hole. Next, I have to think if my opponent has Mother of Runes, do I Portable Hole it, or do I Swords to Plowshares it? I think I Swords to Plowshare it, but it's close. Like the Portable Hole doesn't answer larger creatures, so maybe that's not true. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just Portable Hole it. I don't think it's gonna like matter whether or not I answer something like a Jitte at this point. Like my opponent will be dead, or like the game will be over or something. The reason to use the Swords of Plowshares is that like Mom is something that is guaranteed to only give my opponent 1 life, whereas something like a Flicker Wisp can give them 3. But like Portable Hole doesn't hit Flicker Wisp, so like there's a whole series of things there. Okay, opponent is passing the turn. They're continuing on the Rishadan Port train. Okay. Well, I'll battle. Have you drawn a Swords to Plowshares yet? No. No is the answer. Then post-combat, let's dump some artifacts into play. This is pretty good, like, go-wide inevitability for the last couple of points of damage. Okay, I believe opponent is deterministically dead because Cauldra has Trample. Oh, Solitude. Solitude is a good get. Okay, so this gives +1/+1 Trample and lifelink. My opponent is going to Solitude my Germ. And then I can Trample in for 1 point of damage and make a Thopter in this turn cycle. And then I'll just kind of like hold the Swords to Plowshares for later. Get in the red zone. I'm not exactly sure what my thoughts on Solitude are in Death and Taxes. Like, it's very slow to hard cast. The deck doesn't have a ton of card advantage, so it's hard to like really justify pitching the card in many situations. Like it is a very real cost. But like then there's situations like this where like I thought my opponent was deterministically dead and they weren't. All right, goodbye Germ. And puts my opponent to 1. And when your opponent is at 1, Retrofitter Foundry feels real good. I will also just have the inevitability of eventually getting to 7 mana and re-equipping this. We're a long way away from that, and I expect my opponent to be dead by then, but just throwing it out there, it's something that can happen. Alright, sure. Oh, this is a savage blowout. My opponent is going to go for Jitte equip. And then I get to do this. GG. This puts my opponent to 2. I have 2 on board, unless they have like a second Solitude. That is the game. Yep, and there we go. Alright, so on the draw, do I want Sorcerer Spyglass for like Ether Vial and Wasteland and such over 2 Tidehollow Scholars? I think that's fine. It leaves me a touch lighter on bodies than I'd like to be, but I think the effect is pretty powerful. I do want to say, though, it may be that I'm wrong, like, because I have Portable Hole, that's a turn 1 answer to Aether Vial that these sorts of decks normally don't have, so, like, maybe I'm fixating too much on something that is very strong. I have no turn 1 play. The hand's pretty good outside of that. I have a lot of land, so, like, the Wastelands and Ports don't obliterate me, but I have no interaction for, like, a Vial or a Mother of Runes to start things off with. It's possible this is a mulligan accordingly. I'm drawing to like 8-ish turn 1 removal spells. Plus 3, 7. Maybe this is fine. It gets improved by a lot of draws. I'm not like stoked about it, but I don't know that I'm supposed to throw this back. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. So we'll play a land and pass. Since I don't have basics, I can't just like safely fetch here. I just kind of need to leave this up as a shield against Wasteland Import. Oh, that's fine. That's not impacting my hand greatly currently. It might later. Okay. Bob versus Sculler. I think I want a Sculler. So I am going to fetch a scrub land here. And then I am going to play an artifact land. I want my opponent, if they have like a wasteland, to attack this rather than this, because secretly this Urza Saga is probably how I am winning the game. Ooh, buddy. Opponent's hand is fucking good. Really good. But they don't have land. That's the weakness. Honestly, I kind of want to take Recruiter here and stop them from grinding. Like, Recruiter getting the Flicker Whisper, the Stoneforge, is kind of a huge deal here. Like, multiple Skyclave apparitions is kind of a pain in the ass, but, like, one of these is probably Solitude fodder, so my opponent can remove 2 things with his hand. I take this Tidehollow Scholar, I hide the Recruiter in my hand. If they want to Solitude it away, I'm good with that. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Solitude so that they have to draw a land. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty good with my things getting Solituded currently. Alright, you, and then I think next turn I play Urza Saga. I probably should have made a Tidehollow Scholar attack before playing the Bob, by the way. I probably just missed 2 points of damage. Alright, given the speed that this turn is playing at, I don't think my opponent drew a land. So now it's the question of, like, am I going to get the 2-for-1 with Solitude immediately? And the answer is probably yes, because, like, Bob is Bob. I will take my 2 points of life damage as tribute to Thalia. That's fine. Oh, they did draw the land. So, what's the holdup? Yep, Skyclave. Goodbye, Bob. I attack. I'd be happy trading Tidehollow for Skyclave. That's totally fine. And I'd be happy if my opponent tapped them off. So I think the answer is yes, I do attack. Right, we'll see what happens from here. My opponent is going for the protect. That's fine. Now, it's a portable hole. I'll remove the mother. Play Urza's Saga. We will start working towards construct domination. The Rishadan port's actually pretty annoying here. Ooh. I probably just make this trade straight up. I just want to stay alive long enough that I get to, like, start making constructs. Yeah, I'm good with that. This gives me a 2/2 black, makes it so that, like, I'm not just going to get Flicker Wisped into Oblivion later by, like, Skyclave Flicker Wisp. Okay. The opponent wants to Rishadan port the Urza Saga, which makes sense. This is a fine draw. I'm totally happy with this. So I think I just go ahead and continue this and battle. Puts my opponent to 18. I'm holding up a Swords to Plowshares. I have a couple of Urza's Saga constructs in the hole for later. Plus, like, Retrofitter Foundry to just start using as a mana sink. I'm good with that, too. I think that's going to be better than Shadow Spear. I don't want to use this on Thalia here. My opponent has Karakas. So upkeep, my opponent is going to port this Urza's Saga. I will go ahead and make this in the upkeep. Bob is totally fine here. We'll get another construct in my following upkeep. Like my opponent might have a Swords to Plowshares. Now I get to search. I could also get cute and get Hex Parasite. It's probably too cute and is interruptible by the Swords to Plowshares that I think my opponent might have. Let's just get Retrofitter Foundry. Now, do I want to play Bob? I'll make that choice post-combat. Alright, opponent goes to 16. My life total's a little low, but yeah, maybe it's just better to hold up both Swords to Plowshares and Retrofitter Foundry here. Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so if I want to remove the Thalia, I can do so forever currently. It might be fine to just do that. It's a little obnoxious if I start going down the Dark Confidant route. And this is just something that stabilizes my life total a little bit in the midterm. Like now I'm at 16 life with another huge construct and a Bob and a Retrofitter Foundry. Like, the Solitude can answer a construct, this can answer the Retrofitter Foundry, but that'll still leave me with Bob afterwards, plus whatever I get off Urza Saga. It's gonna be a slug. So much for recording with the fast decks, huh? Okay, Skyclave is fine. Alright, as expected. And I think I am gonna go ahead and just continue to fetch the Scrublands out of my deck. I really don't want to draw them. Okay. I will go, yeah. Make my huge construct. Now I've got options. Grab the Shadow Spear, grab the Pithing Needle, never worry about Rishadenport again. I had an Expedition map currently. I'll grab the Shadow Spear. Box Diamond over Marsh Flats probably. Doesn't cost me a life. Discard that. I think I'm supposed to take my attack now. Yeah. Alright, no blocks, they'll go to 16. Sure, that's fine. But like, give me some credit here. I would have played that pre-combat if I didn't have the mana to do so. Ooh, a Recruiter. Oh, Relic Order is very good here. That means I can Relic Order away the Construct and Solitude away the Bob and be in a pretty good position. Yeah, I'll be taking that damage. Seriously? I mean, thanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. Are both my creatures attacking? No, I don't think so. I have my two most expensive cards in hand. Bob isn't going to do that much. Yeah. Just play this out. And I think I'll hold the line here. So surprised that my opponent didn't want to pitch cast Solitude and remove Bob. I mean, maybe they physically can't. But like as of last turn, I thought that like the needle was pointing in my opponent's direction, and now I feel like it's pointing back in my direction. Like next turn, I'll have the possibility of attacking with two different life-linking creatures. Oh, a Disenchant. Man, there's so much splash damage from Affinity still. A little rough. Like, that's a Disenchant and a Relic Order in a deck that normally runs neither of those. I don't think I block that. I want to equip Shadow Spear to the Illusion and then crash in that way. God damn it. Sure. Getting another Flicker Wisp. Oh no, getting a Stoneforge. Okay. Alright, I will happily take my land there. And a Swords to Plowshares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 6. I think I need to go ahead and get my equip on here. And just take this life immediately. Obviously not thrilled about my situation. Okay, they're going for a trade with Flicker Wisp, which I think I just have to accept, unfortunately. Dealing damage. Now I will equip the Bob. I'll leave out the possibility of a Swords to Plowshares blowout, but it's not really possible since my opponent has Solitude. So if my opponent has a 4th land, they can just go for a Jitte here. That's a Jitte. Okay. I think that's just supposed to go on your worst creature. But I guess that's fine. I get to return my creature. Oh, joy. Oh, a portable hole is great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my 7th mana. Do I just cast Cauldra? Like, does it matter if my opponent gets 2 Jitte counters if I have a Cauldra? There's still the Solitude. Like, is my opponent's last card a white card? That becomes the real question of this turn cycle. I can also just start trying to win on timeout. That's totally reasonable too. So my opponent has a Rishadan Port, so if I don't cast the Cauldra this turn, I might not be able to cast it easily. Okay. So I think I'm going to go ahead and attack. And see if my opponent wants to trade. Because if they trade, I'll still get a body back, assuming they trade this. Yeah. That's fine. Alright. I lose my Bob, but get an illusion. Now I go to my second main phase. I cast a new portable hole. This takes out the Jitte. And I equip here. Pass the turn. There's a chance that my opponent just like plays the Solitude to get rid of this so they can make some chip damage attacks in, and then I get like a Cauldra that gets to just like live and stay around and dominate the remainder of this game. Nope. I see. So they just want to hard cast it with Flash here. Okay. I mean, I guess that just means I play this like next turn. And I use the Bob as bait this turn. That's fine. I could also just like cast it this turn and then like try to equip on a future turn. It just uses my mana so much more efficiently to cast it this turn. And then like I don't get ported next turn. Yeah, I'm good with that. And trying to play around the Solitude when in reality I should just like let it happen and then re-equip. Get him. Yeah, this was always a possibility. Okay. Yep. Just absolutely refusing to cast this Solitude. Am I like crazy and they like... No, it's still in their hand. Okay, sure. Their own Cauldra. That's definitely spooky. Take 10 this turn, go to 3. But then I can make my Cauldra lifelinky. Would be a great time for like a Nettle Cyst, I guess. Lotus Petal. Okay. So I do this. Equip this here. Next turn I would block the Cauldra. We would trade Germs. I would gain 6 and only really take 1 damage, but the Solitude is just going to beat me. And I don't think there's much to be done about that. You just choose to attack for 6, then that offsets this. I don't know, I guess I can play towards opposing misplays. But yeah, like this Solitude is rough. What if I move this over here, actually? Does that make more sense? Oh, well, apparently I was F6'd. I don't know that it really matters. Okay. Alright, my opponent gets this game, but I think they could have like used this Solitude any number of other turns earlier in the game and won more easily than what they did. Like, I think if you have the option to cast a card that gets rid of a Dark Confidant, you are probably supposed to do that. But, you know, scoreboard. Alright, round 2, I am keeping a bit of a YOLO hand here. This is 100% just a can Cauldra win the game hand. And we'll find out. Well, Stoneforge has resolved, so that's a great starting point. Fantastic. This is a lot of pressure versus an opposing like combo deck. But it looks like we are playing against a fair deck of some kind. Might be wrong. This could just be like elves. But When I see Windswept Heath, my mind immediately goes to Maverick. Don't do it. Okay. I don't know that I love the sequencing there. I generally like to do one. Oh, we're playing against Applejacks. Okay, yeah. This Cauldra is going to fuck up my opponent. Alright, so I have a Mox Opal. So this would cause my opponent to get lands. I think what we do is we go ahead and activate this. I put in the Cauldra. That gives me Metalcraft, at which point I can go ahead and Portable Hole, take out the Veteran Explorer, and crash in for 5. So Caldra's ability exiles, but it's a triggered ability that happens after damage. So I would deal 1 damage to Veteran Explorer would die, and then Caldra's effect would trigger. So, like, that is not going to exile it. So if I do want my opponent to not get the land boost, I do need to play it out in this way. Okay, it's a bird. So this is fine. Yeah. Yeah. Boo. I'm just going to confirm I have no basics, right? We already had that conversation. Yeah, no basics. I have just the backup Batter Skull though, which is pretty legit. Like the Cauldra already got 5 damage, and like we actually might trend towards being able to re-equip it. Sure. How big is that? Ah, a 4/4. That is a very convenient size for people named Phil. Let's put in the Batter Skull. Alright. That gets to safely attack into the night this turn, which is cool. Let's... Well, no, maybe I go ahead and attack first. I don't think I want to cycle Silent Clearing yet. Alright, that puts my opponent to 9. Like, I just don't think I want to go down cards immediately in the face of a potential Wasteland machine. I assume I'm taking that Titania. Yeah, I am taking that Titania. It leaves him with a Knight of the Reliquary, though, which I don't love, because that's going to get bigger than my stuff pretty quickly if my opponent has 2 of them. I also don't know, like, to what extent my opponent actually has utility lands. My Batter Skull attacks get considerably worse here. Oh. Unexpected. I'm gonna guess that I don't get a card here. I do not get a card here. Baron of Clan something or other. Eltoth. Oh, long term, my plan probably needs to be re-equip this Cauldra to something. That's how I'm gonna get through this, through shit like this. I don't think I cycle Silent Clearing here. Alright. Well, things are gonna slow down a bit. I can also just like find an Urza Saga at some point and just end up with constructs that are bigger than these knights. I think I'm willing to throw an Esper Sentinel and a Batter Skull in front of the bus here and hope my opponent can't like crop rotation or Swords of Plowshares or something. I think the cost is low for me to force my opponent to use a card here. Oh, no, we're just straight up trading? Deal, 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 deal. Also, it makes the Cradle slightly worse. Seems like you want to play the Marin pre-combat and put an experience counter on it when your knight dies if you're going to make that attack, but maybe they were just like convinced that I was not going to block. But I'm good with it. I think I'm supposed to bounce the Batter Skull. If I draw a land, I would rather just equip it to the Esper Sentinel, but if I don't draw the land, I really just need to put it back in normally. Figures. Yeah, let's pass the turn. Put in a Batter Skull later. Also, it figures that, like, when I am trying to crank out leagues, I just get paired against, like, the grindiest possible decks. Say Lovey. This is that Knight of the Reliquary. I'm gonna dismiss this, I can remember that stuff. Yup. Sure. So, let's put Batter Skull back. And I think I just want to chump with the Batter Skull here. I can trade 2 bodies for it, but I don't think that's actually good for me. am working towards Cauldron mana. Is this Mox Opal just equipping to like an Esper Sentinel or a Tide Hollow Sculler here? I really need this Mox Opal mana for equipping Cauldron. Like, that's the way that I can reasonably try and win this game, is by getting the first strike. But I don't think I am in the situation to not equip the Batterskull this turn. I think it's going to Stoneforge this turn, and I chump block with Stoneforge. Just kind of hope that I draw some lands. Can't really make an attack here. I think I'm more or less at the point where oh, I'm not going to beat that. I think I take 18 damage here. Oh, no, maybe I do a chump. Maybe I chump with this. No, maybe I chump with the Stoneforge. If I do 2 bodies, I can actually take one of those out of play for a turn cycle. Not the worst. I'm just like in the abyss here. I think I can see this game after this next draw step. I think like with the Mother of Runes there, I'm just like not going to get through what my opponent has. Yep. And another Reliquary pops back to their hand. Sure. I'm gonna concede for the sake of time here. I could live a bit longer, but I think the ship has sailed on actually winning the game. I think I want Swords of Plowshares, and I'm not sure that I want anything else. Like the Jete can be okay. Jete Needle can be okay, but I don't know that I actually want to shut off those Knights of the Reliquary. I think I just want to like try to get my opponent dead. Let's do this for the Aethersworn Canoness. I don't really think Esper Sentinel's great either, but like Plague Engineer is medium, and these needle effects are kind of medium. I might sub 1 Esper Sentinel for the Jete. Like it tends to dominate fair games. Okay, I've kept kind of a medium opening hand here. It has some interaction versus various Nick Fit things, and it has the ability to put Cauldron into play quickly as well. Right? I would love my opponent to cast like a Green Sun that draws me a card. It is a Veteran Explorer instead. Opal? Opal is actually very good because I can get Metalcraft and turn it on. I'll fetch another Scrubland. I cast the Tide Hollow Sculler. Ooh, actually, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I cast Portable Hole on the Veteran Explorer, and that also gives me my 3rd artifact, and then I just cast the Stoneforge. Do that. If I take that line, and I draw another land, next turn is really fucking hot. The next turn, if I draw a land, I can Tide Hollow Sculler, take any possible removal for Cauldron, and then just put the Cauldron into play. My opponent can just have like Cabal Therapy, though, in which case this line's a little sad, but you know, whatever. Hopefully Esper Sentinel draws us some cards at some point this game. I'm a little low on gas if I lose 2 cards to a Cabal Therapy. By a little low on gas, I mean like absolutely out of gas. Can't even see the gas station. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so opponent is only going to take my Cauldron here. And there it goes. Marsh Flats is not what I am looking for. I'm going to be lazy and fetch now, so I don't have to do it later. I don't actually have all that many fetchables, so might as well fetch while I can. Try to punch a hole in my opponent's hand, because I don't have a lot going on anymore. I have so many good draws. Bobs, Nettle Cysts, Urza Sagas, more Stoneforges. Okay. Well, oh, I should have floated a mana in response there. Oh, no, I don't have Swords of Plowshares up on my opponent's turn. Classic. Alright, so we're in a top deck war. I don't know who's favored currently. I think it's me, but margins are slim because my opponent has a bunch of large bullshit in their deck. I guess I do too. Oh, alright. No play from the opponent. Alright. I'll take my 3 damage. Okay. Opponent now doesn't have to pay life to fetch. And you will die on sight. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 or any experience counters. Right? Not what I'm looking for. This deck is not feeling great. So maybe the answer to, like, does shoving Urza Saga in every deck make it better? Maybe the answer is no. I just feel way less consistent than regular Dead Guy AL right now. Alright, I need to grab a white source for a Mother of Runes. Which is relevant on this board. That's definitely not a do-nothing card. I know their last card is Wasteland, so I can just play this out pre-combat. Send them. I think if I get to untap with Bob, I'm probably favored for the rest of the game. Okay. Knight's good. Knight's bigger than all of my things. But Bob is a hell of a drug. Ooh, an Urza Saga, which unfortunately is just going to get wastelanded, but whatever. I think because I'm so likely to just, like, find more lands that matter, it's not that big of a deal. My opponent also just has, like, a wasteland machine over there, so my Urza Sagas are not likely to be producing constructs in the short term. I still think I'm favored, but the margins are tighter. Oh, Grist. Now my opponent might be favored. Alright, goodbye, Urza Saga. Portable Hole does not answer Grist. Alright, opponent is not attacking. Silent Clearing. A Stoneforge and a Nettle Cyst. Okay. This is all stuff. Used Cauldra. So 1, 2, 3, Nettle Cyst. Is a little bit of a big. It'll get bigger. With 2 for a Stoneforge. I'll use this ability. Yes, I will. And there are arguments for all sorts of different pieces of equipment here. The Jitte to get rid of Mom is pretty cool. Honestly, I think I want the lifelink that Batterskull provides. I'm gonna pass the turn here. Like, I think my plan is to just, like, equip a Nettle Cyst with a Batterskull and make sure I hold the ground. Because I think if I hold the ground and, like, I don't start taking damage from this knight, that double Bob will allow me to pull through and just win this game one way or another. I could also see just, like, getting the Shadow Spear and trying to trample over and kill the Grist that way. Like, the Jitte is also fine to try to kill Mom and insects. Okay, so I need to respond to that. I tap this for green. Put that in and see what my opponent chooses to kill. Okay, that triggers, so I could have waited. I can also just, like, attack the Grist with a whole bunch of shit in this turn cycle. Oh, they're just taking out a Stoneforge. Interesting. Oh yeah, opponent has no cards in hand. I'm golden. Color and a Portable Hole. Nice. Land. And I think I just go ahead and play you pre-combat, even though you don't do any good. It's just increasing my artifact count for Nettle Cyst. That's all it's doing. Done. Oh, I guess I could have, like, actually just gone for lethal this turn by playing Portable Hole on Mom. Yeah. I had lethal by going for Portable Hole on Mom. Oops. I don't think it matters, though. We'll get there eventually. Oh, do I want to leave the Stoneforge back? So I can bounce and redeploy the Batterskull? Nah, if the Batterskull dies, I'll just re-equip it to something. That's fine. Okay. Okay. Other runes has protection from black. Grist is dead. Opponent goes to 7. Mom is pro-black, not pro-white. I can go ahead and Portable Hole Mom here. I think I'm good to cycle this card. Or I'll play out Lotus Petal. And pass the turn. Should just very much have lethal next turn. Yep, GG. Does Mother of Runes tip this enough in the direction of me wanting Pithing Needle? Mother of Runes might tip it enough in the direction of me wanting Plague Engineer at the very least. As for Sentinel's not doing a lot here. Go ahead and board like this, just a little differently on the draw. Okay, this hand has nothing proactive to do. I'm gonna mulligan it. I do not love this hand. I think I keep it. And I'm going to toss a scrubland back into the deck, which normally wouldn't make a lot of sense, because like you don't want to pay the life for it. But since I only have 4 fetchable targets and I have more marsh flats remaining in my deck, I think I want to just throw this scrubland back in there. Alright, so they grabbed a Horizon Canopy with that, and then played a scrubland. Yeah, your Cabal Therapy is probably going to miss. I'm good with that. Stoneforge Mystic, I think, is a solid name in their position. This Cauldra is a pain in the butt. Now it's exposed that my opening hand is kind of weak. And that's not a bad card. I'll start getting my artifact count going. Alright, so do you have the nightmare scenario of like land, Veteran Explorer, sacrifice to Cabal Therapy, take one of my things, and oh no, no green mana. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, if my opponent just stumbles on mana and like lets me get like Plague Engineer and Jitte going, I'll probably win this game. Okay, there's the green mana. Oh, I knew they had the green mana. They just chose not to play it last turn. Okay, sure. Alright, that'll be a Veteran Explorer, so they get to sack it to Therapy. So I guess that Green Sun was the draw for their turn, otherwise they could have done it all last turn. Let's see, there's currently a Scrubland on the bottom of my library. I don't want to draw that, so I'll just say no here. And I presume that I lose Plague Engineer here over Portable Hole. Oh no, I lost the Portable Hole. Alright, what's your follow-up? A Knight. I wonder if they thought that this could kill Knight. Spoilers, it can't. Let's Plague Engineer. Human. And pass the turn. I'm guessing that my opponent is favored by quite a bit in the current board state. Like, their deck is full of big dumb things that they want to ramp out, like Titania. And I can get double Wastelanded in this turn cycle. Which sets me back a lot. Oh, a Grist. Yup. That's pretty good. How am I not just getting double Wastelanded, like, immediately? No. Alright. Okay. That's rough. I also probably need to sandbag this Urza Saga now until after I get Wastelanded. Although, I don't know, maybe that doesn't make sense because, like, they just can get more with Knight of the Reliquary. I think I'll probably concede if my opponent plays another threat. I think I'm done here. Okay, so opponent wanted to draw a card more than they wanted to wasteland me. And the Knight didn't activate? Okay. I don't know, I guess I don't know the mana requirements of their deck, but I'm guessing they could, like, rotate the scrub away, get a fetch land or a wasteland, and be totally fine. A Pernicious Deed. Oh, that can also destroy my Urza Saga, right? For each artifact, creature, and enchantment with mana value X or less. Oh, that doesn't say non-land, does it? This is why they didn't wasteland me. Alright, concede. Let me concede, Moto. I'm done here. Move on. And any Affinity style deck is, like, not going to beat a, like, Pernicious Deed or Meltdown type card. Moto, let me concede. I'm done here. Let me go. Don't keep me in this grist prison. Thank you. Note, drawing the Stoneforge here does not matter. Like, my opponent has Grist, they sack an insect, they destroy this, and we're super dead. Alright, round 3 opening hand is okay. I'll be keeping this. It's a oh, shit, we were playing against Reanimator. Well, this is going to be a fast round. Got some Tormod scripts for those sideboard games. Grizzlebrand and Chancellor to the yard. Unmask me? Sure. I'll let them look at this mess of a hand. I don't know, maybe I can find like a Lotus Petal, Tide Hollow Sculler, their one reanimation spell, or they're missing a second land to do it, and yeah, I win. Portable Hole? Oh, they have Animate Dead, I see. Okay. I think I need to go Artifact into get rid of the Chancellor trigger. Oh, by the way, I don't remember if I talked about this in the intro, but the reason why Hex Parasite is in the deck is so that you can go and remove counters from an Urza's Saga and continuously use it to make constructs. Yeah. Well, we'll let my opponent have a little bit of fun and then concede. Excuse me. Okay, more mana. Okay, that's probably going to be an Ashen Rider, blow up my land, and I can concede to that. Like, there's worlds where theoretically I can just make something that's bigger and scarier than a Grizzlebrand. ETB or attack, target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life. Neat. You know what? We're gonna return the Hex Parasite just so I have something to sacrifice. Okay, concede. Next game. Crypt in. Guess I Needle Grizzlebrand. And then this stuff is all like, Hex Parasite is not necessary. Portable Hole is good specifically against Animate Dead and kind of bad against everything else that my opponent can do. I think I am probably supposed to board this out despite the fact that it does have a niche interaction that's very good. Assume I need to do like this as well. Yeah, I just have all these like cards that are kind of medium power level and utility here. Let's assume I can cut the Batter Skull. Like, I'll just get the Cauldron to clock my opponent. In most cases. Alright, and now it's like Sorcerer's Spyglass and Swords to Plowshares, both of which are okay. Not great. I think if my opponent gets something into play, I'm going to lose a lot of the time. I think I'm just going to submit as is and keep my deck as threat dense as I can. This is not good enough. Well, this hand has 2 different Tormod's Crypts, kind of. I think I keep this. And I'm going to assume that I can never cast this Tide Hollow Scholar. Just the white-black requirement is so much here. But this is really a classic example of a hand where I am keeping, like, hate and nothing else. The hand is totally reasonable if I pick up another land this turn. And it's so unreasonable if I don't. Oh, the pivot plan. Well, I guess Portable Holes come back in the next game. Oh, this is such a good pivot plan. Like, the cheap removal comes out, and then, like, this hits, which also, like, randomly fuels the graveyard. Yeah, I like that a lot. I did the same thing in that, like, the Tenderizer Burning Wish Storm deck that I played. Yeah, and, like, my opponent, like, can enable this as soon as they want by sacking the Lotus Petal. Yeah, I think I'm likely to just lose to this card. Good deck building. Alright, not surprised to see Stoneforge eat it there. Mox Diamond is a cruel joke. Alright. We'll see if my opponent is willing to just sack the Lotus Petal for some damage here. Or, well, I guess potential damage because I have the Tormod's Crypt. Okay, if you were going to do that, like, do it pre-combat. Like, you get 2 more damage or force me to junk the Crypt. Okay. Cool. Alright, so I will float a mana here. I think I need to just pick up a Mox Opal. And I think I am supposed to play this card, despite the potential costs of doing so. You know, I can live like 6-ish turns through a Dragon Rage Channeler, but I can live 1 turn cycle through a Grizzlebrand in all likelihood. So I'm gonna try to keep them off of their stuff. I'm at 16. Reanimate targeting a Stoneforge Mystic in my graveyard. It increases the clock by a turn, but I think I am just good with that happening. Because I can Tormod's Crypt my opponent to shrink this back down to a small creature at any point. Huh, my opponent had no equipment. So weird. I'm unsure how many hits I am supposed to take from a Dragon Rage Channeler before popping Mox Opal. I think I am willing to take some more, though. Alright. Okay. Oh no, that doesn't even fucking work. With my thorn. Alright. That's fine. Is this the point where I just have to crack this? I really don't want to. But I think this is probably the point. Hope that my opponent can't turn it back on for a few turns. Hope that they don't have the reanimation package. Yada 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 yada. Faithless looting is gross. Fracture. Okay. Alright. I am allowed to cast a spell. This is exciting. Why? Why? Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Alright. Battle Cyst is gone, as expected. But I have stalled the board with my 2/2. I don't know that I'm actually gonna get to draw any cards off this Esper Sentinel. There's a hope. Alright, exciting game we've got going on here. Alright, Mox Diamond. It is probably worth my life here to equip this, and I really should have considered attacking in, but I had already F6'd. I don't know, maybe I don't want to trade the Esper Sentinel off. Hey. Yeah, because if my opponent, like, somehow made this larger at instant speed, it would be a blow. I don't know, that's pretty unlikely to happen. No, it can happen with Entomb very easily. Alright. Nope, the no attack last turn was fine then. Although honestly, I don't know how many, like, bad cards my opponent has brought in. Like, there's Phyrexian Dreadnoughts, which means there also has to be something that, like, enables that to happen, which is probably like a Torpor Orb in this deck. Can't be Stifle or Dress Down. I guess it could be, like, some sort of, Roll of Fade, Illusionary Mask sort of things as well. Alright, it is still not a big. Okay, so do I want to make a construct this turn? Honestly, not really. I think I just want to play an Aethersworn Canonist. Probably need to take some attacks here. Could I beat a Dreadnought? I gave this back. Maybe. I'm not gonna risk the attack with this right now. Alright, my opponent takes some damage. 3 mana. Alright, it is indeed Torpor Orb. Okay, I'll get a card out of that. My opponent did not pay the tax for Esper Sentinel, which makes me think that they have a Dreadnought here. Okay. Let's see if I can beat that. Alright, Aethersworn Canonist is the draw. Do I have... I can't get portable hull with this, that doesn't work. Use this to get some mana or something. For the Mox Opal. I don't think that helps out my situation. So if I block with Esper Sentinel and Aethersworn Canonist, soak up 6 damage, I take 9 total damage. I control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, could be 7, 8 artifacts. I could, oh, maybe the plan is just like straight up trade with the Dreadnought. Maybe that has to be the plan. There is a 7/7. This can make it an 8/8. Whatever this is that I do. Probably Retrofitter Foundry. Make it a 9/9. No, I can't. Because of Thorn. What if I get, like, Lotus Petal and then play Stoneforge Mystic for Cauldra? Then I don't know how I beat the Dragon Rage Channeler. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and call it a day here. I can't beat this, I don't think. Alright, round 4. This is a weird hand. And the player draw. I'm on the draw. So if Esper Sentinel is good against my opponent's deck, like if they're playing a bunch of cantrips, I can draw a shit ton of cards with this hand. You know what? I've literally never kept a hand that has looked like this. I probably have more proactive hands than this, but like this hand is very interesting and like plays out a lot of stuff quickly. Let's give it a go. Alright. Vault. Opal, Shadow Spear, Esper Sentinel. Not a bad turn one. The white artifact land would have been slightly more ideal, but like whatever, can't have it all, I guess. Alright. I see a brainstorm in response. Sure. Underground Sea these days always has me thinking about Doomsday. Excuse me? Okay. We take those. Damn, this deck's good. Alright, round 5 opening hand. Shrubland, Mox Opal, Esper Sentinel. I will be 1 artifact away from having Metalcraft. On turn 2, I can play Retrofitter Foundry and have Metalcraft, but I think this hand is still a mulligan. Sure. Guess this is okay. Has a little bit too much mana, but in Bob we trust. The mana's actually kind of awkward. I think I theoretically want to play Urza's Saga out on turn 2. But that means that I'm not going to play Ancient Den on 1, because I need to play Silent Clearing on 1 to cast Bob on 2, and then that opens this up to Wasteland, which is awkward. Maybe I'm playing Urza Saga on 3. Alright. And I'm not just going to play Portable Hole to increase my artifact count. I'm not that much of a mad lad. Blooded Strand. Underground Sea. Maybe we're actually playing against a Doomsday player who wants to battle this round. Wouldn't that be neat? Shuffle on the Ponder. Okay. Portable Hole is actually probably correct to just play out this turn for no value. Which is super fucking weird. So then I play Urza's Saga on 2, and I get to play Bob. And then I can make a couple of big constructs and hope that I can positively attack my opponent's life total. Womp womp. Yeah, joke's on you, I've got nothing. My opponent could be playing like an Esper control deck. I am not casting Tide Hollow Sculler here. I am just gonna make constructs. And then probably grab a Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, sure. Yes. Maybe Esper Stoneblade? Question mark. Not a very common deck anymore. Yeah, there we go. You grab like a Cauldra. I will Pithing Needle at Stoneforge. Oh baby. Construct. 5/5. Oh, I also just have Tide's Hollow Sculler. God damn. Anyway. Construct. 6/6. Oh no, the Pithing Needle is not in the deck game 1. The sideboard card. Me. Retrofitter Foundry it is then. Please don't have a counterspell. Please don't have a counterspell. Please don't have a counterspell. Oh, nice. Cryptic Command? The fuck? I can take the Cauldron temporarily, but then... Well, no, I guess temporarily is fine. My opponent doesn't have access to bonus white mana currently. Oh shit, they do. I mean, this is my line anyway. It allows this to eat a Swords to Plowshares rather than one of these. My opponent might just die anyway, right? Force the Plowshares this, put in Cauldra, get a Construct. It'll be 7 damage showing. Yeah, things are kind of fucked up here. I guess I start with a Sculler. See if my opponent wants to like buy a turn by doing like tap draw a card or something. Tap counter. That's fine. Like I'll just make another creature in this turn cycle. I'm good with that. Sure. Like you can get the Cauldron back or you can get the Batterskull back, but I don't think you're gonna survive this onslaught. Alright, we've gone all sorts of deep. Here's the Deuter. They're bigger. I'm gonna really quick, hold on, real quick check. It'd be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I can't like make untap make. So let's go ahead and cycle this. Mox Opal. Add and cycle this. And land. Okay. This is quite awkward. I can deal 10 to my opponent, but my opponent can put in a Batterskull this turn. Stay off the damage. I can't really attack with this. Or can I? No, I can. Because my opponent is dead if they just block with Stoneforge and then put in something else. Yeah, that's fine. I really just wanted to find something like a portable hold to just, like, be closer to guaranteeing the lethal this turn. Uh-huh. Yeah. This is 1 more damage. Alright, that puts my opponent to 1, unfortunately. I just wasn't able to, like, find another artifact. Well, I guess I found an artifact, but not one that does the thing that I want it to do. So my opponent is going to do a cryptic command-based line of tap down my team this turn. That's how they can survive a turn cycle. They are tap drawing rather than tap and bouncing a construct. Sure. Okay. I've got some cute lines if my opponent attacks. Okay. They would have gotten super, super blown out if they went for the like Batterskull equip attack in line. I'm also unsure if I am supposed to like go wide or convert the servos into different creatures, but it doesn't matter here. Alright, so we are playing against Esper Stoneblade. I think I want to swap Hex Parasite for Pithing Needle. I think I want Swords to Plowshares as ways to answer Cauldras. I could see wanting Plague Engineers as ways to answer True Name Nemesis. I'm guessing that's one of the draws for my opponent to that deck. If I'm bringing in Swords to Plowshares, I can probably go down on Portable Holes and place something that looks like this. This is a turn 1 YOLO Bob hand. My opponent's probably going to have Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending, maybe more removal beyond that. I don't think I keep this hand. Okay. I'm going to assume that this is a keep and I throw back the Cauldra. I'll work out the specifics in a second. This hand is not actually as good as I thought it was. I looked, saw 4 mana sources and said, it's probably fine. It was not fine. Especially now that I lose the Bob. Yep. Okay, that's a new Bob. But I realized like half a second too late that this doesn't actually have Metalcraft for Mox Opal. I'm gonna get fucked by Prismatic Ending. I think I passed the turn without playing anything. This should have just been a mulligan. Yeah, I think I passed the turn without playing anything. I don't want to like walk the Mox Diamond into Prismatic Ending before I have the chance to use it. No white mana from my opponent here. And a shuffle off the Ponder. More other Ponder. That one keeps. 8. Alright. Yeah. I think I probably just concede this game here if I can't make a play this turn. Alright. Yes. Mox Diamond. Discard this. Mox Opal. Esper Sentinel, which turns on Metalcraft. We'll make white mana. I'll cast this, which will make black mana. And I will cast the Scholar. And hopefully it doesn't get countered or removed in any way, and everything is just totally fine. Everything was not fine. But I'll go ahead and just concede there. We're not winning this game to the Cauldra that's in play when my hand was this clunky. I should have gone to 5. That was on me. That was just scanning the hand too quickly. Okay, how is this one? Diamond, discard Marsh Flats, Urza's Saga, Retrofitter Foundry, be 1 mana short of activating Urza's Saga the following turn. I don't think that's good. This hand is fine. I think I'll throw back the Silent Clearing and keep double Swords to Plowshares, just because it's so incredibly important to successfully answer a Stoneforge. I assume that's going to be a Ponder. Yep. Okay, I don't mind this at all as a draw. I think I play this one first. Yes, I will use this ability. And honestly, I'm just going to get a castable card here. I'm just going to grab a Nettle Cyst here. It's not necessarily the best piece of equipment, but it's something that is good enough and won't just get stuck in my hand if my opponent does like Swords to Plowshares or Prismatic Ending this turn cycle. And I think they're obligated to remove the Stoneforge if they have the ability to, just because it's so damning for them if I have one of the other good pieces of equipment in my hand already. I'm gonna play this here. The Bob is the better play in a vacuum, but it uses my mana less efficiently. Oh, nice. I'm super happy to get a Force of Will for Nettle Cyst there. Like our Stoneforge got 3 cards. It got Swords to Plowshares plus Force of Will and ooh, that's very good. Bye, Bob. Under a numero trace, I think. Oh no, it was a brainstorm that went to exile. Well, I sure as hell needed a threat there, so that's great. Here's to hoping that my opponent doesn't like randomly have Wasteland or something. Alright, fetch away. Chase would be pretty damn bad. Oh, fuck. Portable Hole and Swords to Plowshares do not interact with that card. I can end of my opponent's turn Urza Saga, so like there is a potential world where I can attack the Jace down. Alright, I will just play out the Esper Sentinel. That leaves me with 2 mana available to make a construct at the end step. And I don't like my position, but I've got a chance. I could also just straight up Pithing Needle the Jace. There's Prismatic Ending to think about, but like that might be the line anyway. Alright. My opponent is going to presumably pay for this. Yeah. Second main phase Brainstorm. Sure. Let's make the Duder. That's a 3/3. This makes it a 4/4. And now it's a question of like, do I Pithing Needle the Jace and attack the Jace, or do I just try to attack the Jace and deal with it? I think I just go ahead and Needle the Jace. Like, I might waste some damage, but it's so important that that thing doesn't get to kill my constructs. Jace, the Mind Sculptor. Okay. I am tempted to play Portable Hole for 0 here, or for no value here, so that if my opponent has a Swords to Plowshares, they can't Swords to Plowshares this construct and still have the Jace live. But that might be me getting too lost in the sauce. Okay. So I have, you know, wasted a third of my Urza Saga to just like have the ability to play more safely around the Jace. Yeah. And like this is the sort of situation where I would very much like to have the Retrofitter Foundry around for. But it is what it is. Okay, I can Portable Hole that. That's no big deal. I guess on the off chance that my opponent is playing Daze, I like do this first. Triple Swords to Plowshares is too many Swords to Plowshares. I've wasted so much potential value and damage. But I really don't like to fuck around with Planeswalkers. Like, when you can kill them, just kill them. Most of the time that's correct. Right? See a Swords to Plowshares on the Bob or on the construct? On the Bob. Followed by a Stoneforge. Okay, that's fine. I have removal for days. That's not a great draw. Guess I'll crash in. My opponent wants to gain 5 life with a chump block. I'm okay with that. They do not. That puts them to 10. I'll remove the Stoneforge. They'll hard cast the Batterskull. And then I'm probably looking at Swords to Plowsharing the Germ, and then Swords to Plowsharing a Snapcaster in response to equip. Yep. I am not going to play around like a Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm effect here. Opponent's got 1 card. Gonna put him to the test. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do this. Allows me to get in 1 more point of damage this turn. A Force of Will. Sure. I'll battle in for 6. I've got a Whip to Snapcaster Mage covered with Swords to Plowshares. Boop. Alright, I have 8 of the necessary damage on board. 9 if I draw a land. I've probably got this. Yep. Let's Mox Diamond. Discard that. Crash in for 9. I think that's going to leave me in the situation where I'm going to beat this Batter Skull. My opponent can fetch and go to 1 if they'd like. Ooh, Mystic Sanctuary. Targeting a Ponder? Is this instant only or instant and sorcery? I thought it was instant or sorcery. It's instant or sorcery, so they could have gotten back Prismatic Ending. Wow, that seems like a huge fucking punt, right? You get back Prismatic Ending, you Prismatic Ending away the Construct token. Oh wait, no, that's not a punt. Because they're at 1 because they fetched, so then they die to this. Okay, no, I take it back. Now they Snapcaster Mage, Prismatic Ending, the Construct away. Ooh, I'm gonna need to draw something, huh? Otherwise, like, Snapcaster gets equipped with batters. Well, one good draw deserves another. And we have gotten the concession. GG's. So the scoreboard says we ended up 2-3 in this league. In actuality, we ended up 1-3 and our opponent just, like, entered around and conceded immediately. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Not good. This deck just isn't better than versions of either Affinity or Dead Guy Ale. I think trying to turn this into a hybrid deck, while an interesting idea, isn't great. The mana is a little bit awkward despite playing like the Opals, Diamonds, and Petals to try to like round things out. You're not as powerful of an Urza Saga deck as other Urza Saga decks because you don't have the Ancient Tombs. You have some things like the Tide Hollow Sculler that are a little hard to cast because of the Urza Saga. And honestly, I don't think Esper Sentinel and Aethersworn Canonist are all that strong in the main deck either. So if you wanted to give this another try, I would try to cut both the Esper Sentinels and the Aethersworn Canonists and see if you could find some other set of cards in the main deck that are, you know, maybe not white and easier to cast. But ultimately, like, takeaways from this league were, like, Portable Hole is a really solid card. Like, that did a lot of work against various decks. Got Thoughtseize a couple of times from the other side of the battlefield. Like, it enabling Metalcraft while also being a removal spell is pretty strong. Are you maybe supposed to play 4 of them in all your Affinity decks? No, probably not, but like, this is a card that absolutely should be on your radar. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button. If you want to tinker with this deck list, check out the link to Top Decked in the video description. And if you want to get one of your own decks on stream, check out the donation information that is on there as well. Have a great rest of the day.